What's up, guys? It's Devin and Danny back with the Buzzer Beaters podcast. We're going to be the only guys here today. We kicked Denham off the show. Just, he wasn't the type of person we were looking for on this show. But Alex is gone with family issues, so it's just going to be us two for today. And today, we're talking about the rebuilding process with the Mavs and the Portland Trail Blazers, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
Mavs Blazers. Our upcoming prospects who we think are going to do well in the NBA. And at the end, we're going to have a little fun with a Where Are They Now segment. So you want to get us started with your Portland Trailblazers rebuild?
Sure. I think Portland did a great job for losing LaMarcus in the offseason. Well, 4/5 of their entire starting lineup from last year. They got Vonleh and Gerald Henderson. I mean, Vonleh is still a huge high upside guy. Everything that made him a top 10 pick last year is still there. They got Henderson who can give minutes off the bench and about 15 points a game. They're probably not going to be any good. Probably going to be in there for the first or second pick, get Ben Simmons or Scale Labussiere. But they did a great job for the hand that was dealt to them, and I'll give Neil O'Shea some credit.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their depth chart, they got Plumlee starting at center. That's a great fill-in for Rolo. But power forward is usually going to be your stretch four. Now that LaMarcus is gone, you're probably going to want to play Myers Leonard there. Yeah, I think he had a 50-40-90 last season, but it didn't really count because he didn't have enough shots. But their small forward position is just terrible. I mean, you got like Darrell Wright, Alonzo Gee, their rookie from, I think he's from Notre Dame. His name's Pat Connaughton. Is that his name? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, and that's why I was so surprised that they traded away Hollis Jefferson, because I thought he could at least step in and give them solid defense. But
right, but then you get Alan Crabb. He's pretty much like their fourth string. He's probably not going to play much. Their shooting guard position is pretty good, though. You got Gerald Henderson. He was a starter for the Hornets for the past couple of years. And then you got CJ McCollum, who he's probably going to be pretty good. He's probably going to be like your Jamal Crawford type player off the bench. Hopefully he can go higher than that with his potential ceiling, but, you're going to want to bring him in as a combo guard off the bench because the Blazers don't have a really good backup point guard in Tim Frazier. He's all right, but he's pretty inconsistent. And their point guard position is Damian Lillard. So you got that. Your front court depth is just horrible. I mean, unless you keep Chris Kaman, that power forward center spot's just going to be kind of exposed.
They have a lot of depth, but there's no real starting quality guys there after LaMarcus left. And
like there's no solid role players.
Yeah.
Like you look at Vonleh, and the reason he was traded is because they thought that he wasn't going to be able to acclimate to the NBA. So that's why they traded him. But you go on and you look, I mean, you're going to need to tank this year, obviously. And you can get Ben Simmons. Maybe he can fill out your small forward position, depending on how he does in college. We see some guys do super well in high school, but in college, they don't play as well.
Yeah.
I do think he's going to play well in college, and I think that he's going to be a top pick. Their two guard, like I said, is pretty solid, man. But other than that, just rebuild through free agency.
McCollum showed a lot towards the end of last season, so at least they have that going for them. And Myers Leonard, they have a couple of nice young pieces, but they need to hit on some draft picks if they want to get back to where they were.
Yeah, definitely. All right, what about Dallas? What do you got for Dallas?
I think they need to bottom out. I wasn't a fan of the Darren Williams signing, especially because it's not going to get them anywhere, and it's probably going to cost them their pick. Yup.
I mean, you guys need to tank. I think your pick is top 7 protected. The Dallas pick is. So, I mean, unless you're trying to lose that pick, which really doesn't make any sense. I know you guys want to win, but hey.
I mean, I don't see them making the playoffs with their rosters currently constructed.
I don't see them coming close. You see teams like Phoenix who win 50 games and still don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
they're just kind of trying. I feel like they're just kind of trying to please Dirk. He took a huge pay cut for them to contend.
I think he's making like $7-8 million a year.
Yep. And he turned down max deals from 2 teams, so they really want to please him.
Yeah, and then you look at the depth chart, like Zaza Pachulia, Satnam Singh. I mean, possibly they get JaVale McGee or D'Alembert for some rim protection.
Yeah, with Tyson leaving and DeAndre, they left them really thin at center
Right.
that whole thing.
And don't forget at the beginning of the year when they first acquired Tyson Chandler, Mark Cuban said he wasn't going to let Tyson Chandler go again.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird. But you look at the power forward depth. I mean, you got Jeremy Evans, who's okay, and Charlie Villanueva, who's washed up. He can give you a 3 every once in a while, but Chandler Parsons and I think Justin Anderson are really the really solid position that Dallas has at the small forward spot.
Yeah.
I think they both give good 3-point shooting and defense. I think Justin Anderson will develop into a good defensive player.
And
Chandler
he's super
Parsons.
quick, long, and athletic too. So he has all the tools. They're all there.
Right. And then Wesley Matthews is really their only 2 guard. I mean, and he's coming off an Achilles tear, which is
overpay. 4 years and $70 million for a guy fresh off an Achilles tear.
I don't think they should have signed him, man.
Yeah, me either.
But I mean, your point guards, you got Devin Harris, JJ Barea, and Raymond Felton. That's the definition of mediocrity.
I mean, Darren Williams is going to be starting, but you don't even know how much he has left in the tank.
I mean, Darren Williams, man. I don't know if it was just the team he had around him last year. I mean, he played well when he was on the court, when he wasn't injured.
He did have flashes of really good play, but it's just not all there anymore.
Right. If they had him 4 years ago when they tried to get him and Dwight together, man, that team would have been crazy.
Yeah. He really seemed intent on coming back to Dallas though, so I guess
yeah. But like what I think Dallas really needs to do is you can't go after these kind of all-star type players, right? You don't go after a Wesley Matthews, give him $14 million a year. You don't go after DeAndre Jordan. Those guys might be all-stars in their career. You need to wait until that free agency, like next year, where there's a superstar in Kevin Durant. If you don't get him, tough shit, tank, right?
You can't just like strike out on all these top guys and then go for, the 8th seed when you don't even have your pick next year.
And I'm not saying like, just lose on purpose despite I said tank, I know, kind of ironic, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not just say like try and lose on purpose. Like what they were doing the past 5-7 years is just reload. They just get a new guy and reload him in there.
And I mean, I'll give it to him. That worked for a little while, but now with Dirk being
that's not going to get you past the second round.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get that superstar either through the draft or free agency. But I don't see them getting that top 7 pick unless they rest Dirk and Matthews a lot.
They're really going to have to use them in the right spots too, because you can't play a 37-year-old Dirk now. Like 39 minutes a game. I mean, you just can't do it anymore.
He's getting up there, man. I kind of feel bad for him, but I mean, he's had some pretty good teams. I'm not trying to say Dallas is a bad organization, but actually they're really a good organization.
Yeah.
Perennial
they had
success.
Their stretch. Yeah, they definitely had their stretch.
But you need to draft that superstar or get him in free agency, and you need to take on the personality of that star.
Yeah.
Your team needs, like you look at the Cavaliers, they all have the personality of LeBron James.
And you must build around that star too. Right. You can't just like keep trying to reload with all these guys.
And as much as I don't like to say it, don't rebuild around point guards. You don't want to get in because point guards are harder to build around. I'd say you either want to rebuild around a big or a small forward. Those are the easiest to build around.
That has been the trend recently. It definitely has. I
mean, you look at the West and the East, and guards are still as predominant as ever. I mean, every team pretty much has a solid guard.
It has to be that generational guy, and they usually don't come at the very top of the draft. Like you look at some of the best point guards in the league, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry. None of those guys were like the first or second pick in their respective drafts.
Yeah, they were all like mid-lottery picks. Man.
Yeah,
well, Russell Westbrook was like I think a 4th pick, or 3rd or 4th.
I mean, there are a ton of guards coming out of college and everything, but it just seems like the top tier guys more than ever are the wing positions now and big men.
And the 2 positions you're going to need to defend are going to be the wings and the point guard. The big man is dying. Okay. The zone defense allows you to collapse on the big man so he can't score. You see that in Summer League with Jahlil Okafor. He has no defense around him. So when they get the zone going and they limit the penetration, they just collapse on him, and that's why he has like 0.8 points per possession.
And he's so flustered that he either turns the ball over or forces up a bad shot.
Right. Or Porzingis just destroys him.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just don't think Dallas should be in that mediocrity state. I think you need to either go up or go down.
No team should, in my opinion. I don't think you should be gunning for the 8th seed perpetually. It never gets you anywhere.
I mean, there's only a few teams who have done it successfully. Like you look at the Rockets, I don't think they meant to do it, but they kept missing when they had like that Kyle Lowry, Goran Dragic team.
Yep, and then they had Harden fall right into their lap.
Right, and then they traded, I think it was Kevin Martin, Jeremy Lamb, and a couple of picks for James Harden.
Yeah, he really did just kind of push them into that next tier.
But like I say, once you get that one superstar, others follow. Like you see Dwight come in.
Yep.
Then you build around them. You put Trevor Ariza to make up for James Harden's defense.
And then you have a title contender.
Right. So what about our under-the-radar prospects? I think I want to go first on this one.
Go ahead.
All right. First one, obviously Cameron Payne. We're only doing this for guys that went below the 10th pick.
Yeah, we're not going to go.
Guys in the top 10 are obviously going to probably be the better players in their career.
Yeah.
But my pick's Cameron Payne. He was drafted 14th out of Murray State by OKC. You know, just because OKC just always drafts well. I don't know how they do it. Whoever their scout is needs a raise. They averaged 20. He averaged 20 points and 6 assists while at Murray State with a 29.5 player efficiency rating, which is crazy for a college point guard. He has good scoring ability. I think he can be a really good defender with his quickness. He's a pretty good pick and roll passer and just a great passer overall, as well as in transition. He has really good court vision. He's good at changing speeds, you know, like when you need to kind of go over the pick and roll and you need to slow down and wait for your big man to cut to the rim. He's really good at that. And also works well in the drive and kick game where he'll let the defense collapse on him and then he'll just kick it out to a shooter. And we're going to do player comparisons too. So my player comparison was like a prime Devin Harris. So what's your pick?
My first one, I'm going to take Jerian Grant, another point guard. He has tremendous floor vision. I mean, during his time at Notre Dame, I caught him a couple of times. The way he sees the floor is just, he's already at an NBA level. A lot of the same people, and he has a lot of playing time in New York. He's got a lot of shot makers around him. He's got Melo. Kristaps looks like he could knock down a couple shots this year.
I'm actually really surprised with him in summer league.
He's really come on really well.
Their summer league team's pretty good with Clint Anthony Early and Jerian Grant and Kristaps.
There's another one. Clint Anthony Early looks great too.
What's that guy that had the 20-something point game the other night? Like Endow or something like that?
I don't remember.
It was crazy. It was really funny. I don't think he'll ever be good in the NBA, but it was a really good summer league game.
Yeah, like Grant has a super long leash in New York. I mean, he's going to get around. I'm assuming he's going to start. Yeah. It's kind of like Lillard from a couple years ago.
Jerian Grant's going to start. I mean, to me, I see it as Jose's on the way out. They're either going to amnesty him or try to trade him. But Jerian Grant and Langston Galloway, I mean, choose between those. I obviously choose Jerian Grant. But yeah, I have. Who's your player comparison to him?
Player comparison? I'll give it a Rondo. I mean, the guy, he really doesn't have much range as it comes to legit NBA range. I know that's kind of a stereotypical comparison with him and Rondo, but the way he sees the floor is him and Russell were easily the two greatest floor generals to come out this draft.
See, I think I don't think he's Rondo bad at shooting. I just don't think he's fully developed yet.
And he's like really long and a presence on defense as well.
Right. I have him as one of mine too. And, you know, he's drafted 19th out of Notre Dame. I think he was drafted by Atlanta, but they traded him for Tim Hardaway.
Yeah.
But he averaged 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists in college. He has excellent size too. I mean,
he's 6'5".
Yeah, for a point guard. That'll give him an advantage over the smaller guards. I mean, you don't see many 6'5" point guards. I mean, you get Michael Carter-Williams, Tony Roten, they're like 6'6", but there's not that many of them. I think he's a good passer in like the pick and roll, and he can isolate too, which is pretty good. Good first step.
He can definitely drive to the lane.
Yeah, like I said, with that good first step, he gets in there. It's not great, but he'll be able to use it with the pick and roll.
Yeah.
He has quick hands, man. He plays the passing lanes good lateral movement. My player comparison was like a bigger Reggie Jackson.
That's a good one.
And I think we have the same one for our third one too, Rondé Hollis Jefferson. Is that who you had?
I actually switched mine up. I took Justin Anderson with mine. I switched it up a little bit.
Talk about
I'll actually talk about Sam Decker first. Sam Decker kind of reminds me of a Wally Zerbiak. Like, that's another stereotypical comparison, but he's
the
a great
white guy comparison.
You're
throwing out the white
it's like
guy
Jalen Rose on draft night.
Yeah.
But he's a great floor spacer. I mean, him at Wisconsin, and he has great playmaking for a wing. He can get a lot of minutes in Houston, especially if Ariza and him can split time at the 3, and he's got James Harden next to him. He can dump off to Dwight Howard if he gets pressured. He's got a lot
pretty
of
good shooter.
And Houston's pretty good at developing wing guys too. So
right. I mean, my player comparison is a guy that he actually plays with, and Trevor Ariza for him, I guess. I think he needs to improve a little bit defensively to be on that level, but I think that's what he can be. But my guy, Rondé Hollis Jefferson, he was drafted 23rd out of Arizona by Brooklyn. He's an amazing athlete. This guy's crazy. He has a 7'1" wingspan. For a wing, I think Kevin Durant has like a 7'3" wingspan. That's like the highest for me. But he's really good in transition because of his athleticism. He just gets out and runs. Yeah. He's a good slasher across the lane. He gets
nonstop motor, especially on the defensive end.
Yep. He's a really good rebounder. He had 9.3 rebounds per 40 minutes while at Arizona. He's a really versatile defender. If he puts on some muscle, he could guard 1 through 4.
Yeah.
1.6 steals and 1.1 blocks per 40 minutes at Arizona, which is pretty good. My player comparison was Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Hopefully his shot, he can develop a little bit quicker. And I think Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is a little bit worse of a passer than Rondé Hollis Jefferson, but still, I think that they're pretty much the one and the same.
They are very similar.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for MKG in the NBA, I mean, guys like Hollis Jefferson's stock would have gone way up. You would have seen him be a lottery pick if MKG didn't struggle so much on the offensive end.
I don't think Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is a bad player. I just think that it's because he was drafted number 2.
Yeah, you can't justify the second pick on a guy that's totally ineffective on one side of the ball.
That draft was pretty good.
Yes.
You had Damian Lillard in that draft.
Bradley Beal.
I think was Andre Drummond in that draft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or no, I believe he was in the year before.
Was it 2012?
2013 was the year MKG went, if I'm not wrong.
Right. All right, you're right. But yeah, I mean, that's just crazy. Out of the guys, Deion Waiters, but nobody really wants Deion Waiters anymore.
His stock. Oh, man.
All right.
I can't believe that even in OKC, he still like pouts when he doesn't get the ball. Right. You'll see Russell Westbrook just do the stuff that he does, and Deion Waiters over in the corner throwing his hands up because he didn't get the ball.
He just needs to be told he's not that good.
Yeah.
I mean, his greatest attribute is his greatest downfall, and that's the fact that he thinks he's the best player on the court.
His confidence, yeah. His attitude is just atrocious. His body language.
When he gets it going, he can fill it up. But
yeah, he just needs to get his head straight.
He even came off the bench in college.
So. Yeah, he was a 6th man at Syracuse.
That's right. But all right, are we gonna do our where are they now?
Sure, start us off.
All right, I'm just gonna throw out names and you guess what they're doing.
All right.
Darko Milicic. I think it's pretty obvious what he's doing. I think a lot of people know. Do you know?
Um, I'm pretty sure it's common knowledge that he's an MMA fighter now, right?
Right. But some news for you. All right. Darko Milicic got disqualified for his first match because he was getting beat profusely and wouldn't stop bleeding.
Huh. Do you know like how long into the match this was?
I think it was about 2 minutes in, 3 minutes in.
Oh, that's brutal.
He kept trying to. I watched the video. He kept trying to like kick the guy, and the guy was like, "What are you doing?" And the camera goes down at like 2.5 minutes, and he has like this chunk taken out of his leg, and he's
Do you
bleeding.
even know like where it is? Is it here in the United States or is
No,
it
it's
over
not in the
here?
United States because the commentary was in a different language. I would guess Serbia because that's where he's from. But
Yeah.
hey, okay. Uh, Latrell Sprewell, the guy that said $21 million was not enough to feed his family. Where's he at now?
I'm guessing he went somewhere where he can adequately feed his family. Maybe he went to go play. I'm gonna guess he went to go play overseas.
Nope. Latrell Sprewell made $100,000 in his career and is now broke. Imagine that.
Surprising.
His daughter was attacked by one of his dogs. He has been accused of stealing by a junior college that he worked at. And he was investigated by police for choking a woman on his yacht. All right. And get this, he was sued by the mother of his 4 kids for $200 million.
Oh, for what?
I don't know. Why the hell do you need $200 million?
Is that
Like,
like
you're just trying to steal people's money at that point.
that's completely legit? He got sued for $200 million.
You make $100 million in your career, but your
I
wife sues you for $200 million.
I'm guessing he's filed for bankruptcy by now.
I'm
Like
pretty sure
totally broke.
yeah. Did you
Yeah.
see 50 Cent filed for bankruptcy? I was like, what? But anyway, all right. Next one, Stefan Marbury.
Um, I know he's over in China, but that's all. That's the
Yeah,
extent of my knowledge.
he's over in China, and he's one of the most beloved and popular players there. He's third most popular player behind one Kobe Bryant and two Yao Ming. Imagine that.
Huh.
He last year he won his third championship at 4 years and is now 38 years old.
All right, do you know the level of competition in his league?
I think it's the league that like Wilson Chandler and Michael
Oh,
Beasley
so the
played in.
CBA?
Yeah, the China Basketball Association.
That's where Moutier played over the last year, right? Yeah.
Right. I mean, hey, Stephon Marbury, if you can still get it, man. Your shoes
Keep
were
getting the
$20 at
checks.
Payless.
The Starberries.
Starberries, man. All right. Do you remember this guy? He played with LeBron in Cleveland. Boobie Gibson.
Yes, I do. Daniel Boobie Gibson.
Where do you think he's doing now?
Oh man, he always had that stroke, so I'm gonna guess he's playing overseas.
Nope. He has made $22 million in his career and is now in love with poetry. And I think that means he wants to rap.
Huh.
But hey, I don't know. I don't know if he can do it.
So he's like trying to become a big shot poet?
No, he wants to be a rapper. That was his
Oh.
term. He's in love with poetry. That means he wants to rap.
Oh.
Yeah.
Trying to listen to one of Dion or Daniel
Dion
Gibson's
Gibson.
tracks.
Dion Gibson's tracks. Super hot fire. All right. Gilbert Arenas.
Oh man. I've seen a video of him taken by I think TMZ of him claiming he signed the worst contract of all time. That is all I
No.
know.
Well, yeah, but I think he's still making money, isn't he? Doesn't he still make like $20 million
I
a
think
year?
his contract ended last year. I think this
That
was
was,
the last year they were paying
dude, that
him.
was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was worth it too, but the injuries, he
At
had
the
the Adidas
time,
curse.
yeah.
He had the Adidas curse,
He went downhill so fast. I can't
right?
remember a career spiraling like that in decades.
Dude, he went from superstar in Washington to role player in Orlando,
For like 1 year and then just fell off the map.
and then I think he went to Memphis.
Yeah, he did. I don't think he ever
That,
saw the court there though.
yeah, he did. I think he went to the playoffs with him. I don't think he played much, but I think he still played. And then I think he went over to play in China. Yeah,
Is
he let
is that
last
what he's up
pl-
to now?
no, that's not what he's doing now. But what he's doing now, Agent Zero, it was his nickname, right?
Yeah.
Recently released a tape of him smashing his girlfriend's car, which is ironic because he probably paid for it. I don't know how she would drive a Benz, but his girlfriend's car with a cinder block because she came into his house, broke 37 windows, and threw the laptop into the pool. And the laptop, I guess, had the Netflix password on it, and he didn't remember it.
He smashed your car with a cinder
Yeah,
block?
dude, he probably paid for it. I don't know why he's smashing it.
Oh man.
He last played for the Shanghai Sharks in the CBA.
Shanghai Sharks.
Dude, I'm gonna go play basketball in China. Michael Beasley got a 50-point game in China.
Yeah.
I'm going to play basketball in China.
I think Delonte West is still going strong over there too.
I think Delonte West still plays for Shanghai.
Yeah. Him and Bees are probably just lighting up joints the whole season on that team.
Literally.
Yeah.
Mm, poor Michael Beasley. He was the second pick too. He didn't really pan out.
I remember when D Rose versus Michael Beasley was a legit
Like,
argument.
wasn't he from like Kansas State
Yes, Kansas State.
and Memphis? So it was Derrick Rose.
And he put up monster stats that
Yeah, it
year.
was crazy. It was like 27 and 11 or some shit like that.
He did pretty good a couple. I mean, he was kind of inefficient, but he did have a
When it,
couple
like
of
those
really
first
solid
years in
stretches.
Miami,
Yeah, and then 1 year
and
in
then
Minnesota.
that Minnesota year, he averaged 20, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, Michael. Let's talk about Michael Beasley for a minute.
What a tragic career
I
arc.
remember reading this thing on Michael Beasley. It was the Bulls, and they were trying to they were trying to figure out who they were going to pick first, right? And they're looking at Derrick Rose and Michael Beasley. Obviously, those are the two top prospects in that draft.
Yeah.
They asked Michael Beasley, "What don't you like most about the NBA or about basketball?" And he goes, "Well, sometimes the referee makes bad calls, and it leads to us not playing well, right?"
Yeah.
Derrick Rose. They asked Derrick Rose the same question, and Derrick Rose. Guess what Derrick Rose said?
Losing.
Losing.
Yep. I guess.
Yeah, right then, I knew Derrick Rose was going to be the guy.
It was I'm pretty sure it was a legit argument in that front office who to take for a while too. At least that's what the reports
Right.
were leading up to
I
the
mean,
draft.
they were pretty bad. I mean, they already had Luol Deng,
And
but
they
I
had
think
Noah at the time too, but they didn't.
right, Noah wasn't the Noah we know.
Not at all. And honestly, I don't even think. I think Noah's pretty much done being a all-star level center.
Yeah. I'd say so. I think this next coming season, man, it's going to be a hurricane over there in Chicago. I think they're going to try to trade a lot of their bigs.
They've got kind of a crowded front court.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their front court, man, and it's like center position, you got Joe Kim, and then you go to power forward, and it's crazy. You got Powell, you got Taj Gibson, you got Nikola Mirotic, and you got Bobby Portis, that
Yeah,
guy
they
that
had
just
the
gets.
nerve to draft Bobby Portis when they have all these guys. They must be doing something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Taj Gibson contract isn't really great, but hey, I think he's a good defender, and I think he should have started over Boozer that last year. Boozer was there because
But the cap jump's gonna make every contract look fine,
right.
isn't it?
Cap jump make Gilbert Arenas' contract look good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're about to wrap it up there.
We'll be back. We'll tell you guys next podcast on like a concrete schedule, but for now, it's just us two. Alex is busy with some family issues, but he'll be back on the next podcast.
And maybe we'll get on Reddit or whatever, and we'll ask one of you guys to join us every week or something if that's something you'd be interested in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man. All right, we're done.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, see you guys later. Thanks for watching.